I don't feel so good, Ariana gasps, passing out from the ordeal and dropping into Eswin's arms, he himself on the verge of collapse. About to speak again, Robert looks at your weary and battered party. Redfern has a blackened eye and can barely stand. Cartha is already down on one knee and both you and Sainadiers could drop over from sheer exhaustion at any time as well. Recognizing this, Robert escorts all of you to the guest floor of the tower where your party is allowed to unequip themselves, wash up and collapse into a small group of fine beds, each of you so deserving of the rest you're about to receive. The next 12 hours passes by almost as a blur, you and your entire adventuring party so utterly exhausted from your encounter with Sandaria that it basically takes half a day to sleep it off. You finally awaken and immediately sense that not all is well. Lying on a worn and disheveled cot, you apparently are the last to awaken, the rest of your party staring awkwardly at you. Quickly looking about, the chamber you find yourselves within is perhaps 20 feet to a side, rather dark with just a single magical light glowing near the ceiling above. You don't see any windows and only a single door, which is likely locked and barred from the outside. At last, young Janet, you're awake, an older voice comments from the shadows. Sainadiers, Ariana and Redfern are closest to you. Which one do you call out to for answers? Choose an option, Ariana, Redfern, Sainadiers. You've been asleep for nearly 12 hours, the young elven fighter whispers to you, not sure what to think. I don't think he means us any harm. Slowly gaining your feet, you watch as an elderly but stately wizard steps forward, keeping his distance but the most powerful magic user you've ever encountered. Dressed in simple lavender robes with a dark hood and full, gray beard, you suspect the old man is of supreme importance and that humility and respect are in order. I am Vell, the inner circle representative to Pyrepa, and all of you are my prisoners. All eyes turn to you. How do you respond? Choose an option. I'm guessing you're not here to do us harm, prisoners. Or are you protecting us? We return the life's hard and we're the enemy. Nothing in life is fair, you should know that by now, the circle wizard responds, not surprised. Alas, yes, you recovered the life's hard, but you've also helped cause a planet-wide calamity. His utter hatred for magic users most apparent, Eswin growls and slowly reaches for his sword. Redfern stops the warrior, however, quickly offering appropriate words of advice. No, Eswin, don't. He could wipe us out with a blink of an eye if he wanted to. Let him speak. Vell takes a step forward, acknowledging Redfern's wisdom before continuing. I am sure all of you realize by now that with the destruction of the Onyx Seal, you've let loose an utter catastrophe upon all of Mariga. But what you probably don't know is that the whole of the inner circle now believes you are at least partially responsible. And for that, you could all be sentenced to death. Death. Let's do an intelligence check on your hero to see if you can determine just how serious Vell is. Needing a 13 or less from Janet, a 6 was rolled. Success, yes, Janet, Vell is quite serious about your potential fate. Your instincts immediately kick in, warning you that your lives are suddenly, and surprisingly on the line here. We understand, Vell, Redfern returns, taking the wizard deathly seriously. We were there. We failed to stop the Onyx Seal from being destroyed. We returned with our lives, instead of sacrificing them to prevent this new Armageddon. In the eyes of the inner circle, we are unworthy to continue with our lives. Vell focuses on Redfern, peering into his very soul perhaps before responding. This novice mage understands. All of you have brought such dishonor and shame upon yourselves that the circle has ordered your arrest and, likely, execution. And I have come for you. Vell looks quite serious, eyeing each of you as the desperate criminals he likely believes you are. How do you react? Choose an option, curiosity, ask why failure should mean death, diplomacy, try to bargain with the old mage, reason, you did everything you possibly could. Perhaps, but those efforts are irrelevant given the magnitude of the destruction that is coming, the wizard responds, morbidly serious. If your mistakes ultimately cause so many to die, then why should you be allowed to live? As word spreads of your failures, and more are slain by the hellions that are coming, executing you here and now may actually be easiest for all of you. So that's it, then. Eswin laments, a combination of disgust as well as fear in his voice. We beat back the Angel of Death's army, we slew the Sandaria ourselves, and we brought the Life's Heart back to Kathleen safe and sound. Doesn't that amount to anything? Not according to circle law, Redfern responds, his knowledge of lore regarding the inner circle supreme within the party. The circle holds itself and everyone serving it to the highest standards, and its reverence for the code, which Sisla herself passed down to the circle, is absolute. We all deserve to die. Silence fills the chamber, all of you in shock for how abruptly your lives seem about to end. Damn Sandaria! Eswin curses, unable to accept such a fate for having done his best. If only her execution had actually killed her. Sandaria was a victim, just like all of you are now, Vell suggests, surprising the party. I knew her well, she believed strongly in justice and equity and doing the right thing. She was an advocate for the less fortunate, and she wasn't afraid to break the rules when those rules were worth breaking. That's probably why she turned so evil in the end, after the Sislan way fooled the people of Kathleen into believing that she was a traitor and had her brutally burned at the stake. Isn't that correct? Sislan. The mighty circle wizard now gazing upon Sanadius with surprising fury, you turn to Sanadius as well, the cleric under assault by the truth. Let's do another intelligence check on your hero to see if you remember something vitally important here. Needing a 13 or less from Janet, a 3 was rolled. Success, sure, of course, you recall Sandaria herself condemning the Sislan way for betraying her and convincing the good people of Kathleen to cruelly execute her at the stake. And surely Sanadius knew about it, the cleric appearing quite uncomfortable at the moment. That's right. Kartha cries out, herself remembering Sandarius' words as the party was suspended above the pit leading to the tomb of Zihsim. You, Sislan, helped in the plot to burn an innocent woman alive. For all your talk and hypocrisy about doing the right thing, you helped murder Sandaria, an actual member of the inner circle. No wonder why the circle now wants us all dead. I was only obeying orders. Sanadius cries back, deeply conflicted over what had happened. I had no say in whether Sandaria was guilty or innocent, I just did what I was told to do. Now that you know and understand what happened to Sandaria, what do you feel towards Sanadius right now? Choose an option. Empathy, it must really suck to be Sanadius. Honor, following orders is always best. Optimism, he will learn from his mistakes. The optimism score for Janet remains the same. For a moment, you think back on your own life in Tabin, and all the times you had to follow orders or judge whether what you were being told to do was contrary to what you believed was right. It's not always easy to know what to do, but experience can help make future decisions a bit easier, so regardless of whether it was right or not for Sanadius to do what he did, he will learn from it. Anyway, my duty now is to keep all of you here in the cell until the inner circle decides if and when to execute you. Vell returns, almost mocking Sanadius. I ask each of you, should I follow through on that duty as well? Or should I take your extreme circumstances into consideration and offer you an alternative? You would do that? Ariana asks innocently, the question on all your minds. Sandaria understood this, and I understand this too. The inner circle, the Sislan way, Sisla's code, it's all broken, pure and simple. Our entire culture prides itself on all the dogma handed down by Sisla nearly 1,000 years ago, but much of it makes no sense here and today. Indeed, the real threat to our future is the senseless dogma from the past. Whoa. You can't believe what Vell is telling you. He actually does not believe in the structure and order of things. Let's do a party-wide spirit check and see how your party reacts. Needing a 12 or less from your heroes, an 8 was rolled. Success, your words border on blasphemy and even treason. Kartha sputters, a huge smile on her face. The ways of Mutant have been teaching the same thing for centuries, I can't believe what I am hearing. Let's put this all another way, Vell continues. Most feel that Sisla's code is the only way to govern the masses, that supposedly she was the only one who ever knew best. But look at our world, how the majority of people struggle to survive, how the powerful and affluent seem to constantly seek advantage over the weak and destitute. Can each of us truly look into our own hearts and think that our way of life now is somehow as good as it can ever be? Shouldn't we seek a better life for everyone, even if it means abandoning Sisla's very code? Choose an option. Who are we to challenge the code? The code does not have all the answers. Can't we just leave things as they are? While you've thought about how, perhaps, life could be made better for all throughout America over the years, this is the first time someone has actually proposed changes to the code, and a truistic of the inner circle no less. You'll certainly have much to think about. Several silent, awkward moments pass, your party wrestling with what Vell is trying to say. The circle wizard then continues. Whether you agree or not, this is what Sandaria was fighting for, here in Kathleen before the Sislans sabotaged her efforts, framed her for the coming of the first undead and had her burned alive. She was trying to make the world a better place, and now it's your turn. Choose an option. Our turn? Your heroes look to one another in confusion, then turn to Vell again as he pushes the issue. Each of you had a hand in taking the life of Sandaria, my sister inner circle representative. Worse, each of you are indirectly responsible for the coming of a new age of damnation, so all your lives are forfeit. But I am prepared to offer you a second chance, a chance at redemption, an opportunity to win your lives back, and atone for what you've done. And what do you want in return? Kartha queries, intrigued with the conversation. For now, all you have to do is trust me. Can you do that? If I spare you and set you free, choose an option. Agree to trust Vell, disagree to trust Vell, neither agree nor disagree to trust Vell? The party's reputation score permanently increases by 1 point. Talking it over for a moment, the party quickly reaches consensus. Yes, your heroes will trust Vell, given that he seems willing to actually let you go. All of you are still quite concerned, of course, but for now you consider yourselves lucky that you will at least be given a chance to fight another day. All of you need to flee Kathleen at once. Vell then calls out, his voice quite authoritative again. I hear tell that the capital city of Hope Air to the east is under duress. I will teleport all of you back to the Wilex River. There, take the road east to the mountains that protect the city of Nace, head north, and discover what is going on. More undead, like Kathleen? Redfern asks, shuddering the thought. No, I don't think anything so dire this time, Vell responds, gathering each of you into a circle, about to teleport you away. I believe this next quest will be just as challenging as your last, but in a completely different way. Your heroes group together, feeling quite uneasy about how quickly Vell is sending you off on another quest and not taking the time to explain himself. Still, it's better than being trapped in this cold jail cell waiting for the inner circle to execute all of you. Before your journey to Nace, I want all of you to first see for yourselves the doom you've helped unleash upon us, Vell whispers, his seriousness quite apparent. Don't stay long, none of you are powerful enough yet to make any real difference. Just see for yourselves the danger we now face, then head east. For letting you escape, Vell does not seem to believe in your party all that much. How do you respond? Choose an option. Thank you for this second chance, Vell, we will be more careful this time. Where, exactly, are you sending us? Vell answers you with a cold stare and you suspect that you're heading back toward the Evilroot Forest. Naturally, you're not entirely convinced you truly did anything wrong in the first place, but given the circumstances, and the absolute authority possessed by Vell, seeing firsthand what is now happening since the destruction of the Onyx Seal isn't the worst thing Vell could do to all of you. Vell nods in acknowledgement of your response, about to offer one last bit of advice. Now, Janet, I return your fate to you. Each of you, go forth, and not only do what heroes do, but see the world for what it truly is and make up your own minds not by what you've been told in the past, but by what you see and feel and experience yourselves here in the now. I set you free not because you don't deserve execution, but because I believe all of you can carry on from what Sandaria and I started, and find the courage and inner strength to save this land from all its enemies, especially itself. And with that, Vell utters a single, extremely powerful word of magic, and you're suddenly transported half a country to the southeast. A moment later, you find yourself standing in an outdoor location, a hot wind blowing past you from the south. Indeed, the southern sky is ablaze in fire and thick smoke blasts past you every few moments. Your immediate thought is that you've been teleported into a war zone, but at least you're not in the thick of the fighting. Quickly looking about, you see dozens and dozens of simple wooden beds and cots sitting upon the grassy field here, most of them containing bandaged, bloodied and, in some cases, deceased people. Here and there several clerics and nurses rush from cot to cot, tending to the wounded. GM note, your quest log has been updated. Click the quests button for all the details. Spending a little time to look around, it appears Vell has teleported you directly into some sort of field hospital where the wounded, maimed, and defeated can be properly attended to. Again, the actual fighting appears to be taking place to the south. You're not in any immediate danger, but you also can't help but feel very sorry for all the brave heroes lying here. The scale of the carnage is far worse than what you witnessed back in Kathleen when your party helped repel the undead attack, none of you able to even find words to express the shock and terror of it all. As you walk about and examine the dozens of wounded, let's have your hero try an empathy check to see if you notice anything in particular. Needing a 12 or less from Janet, a 1 was rolled. Success. Summoning all the empathy you can muster and truly looking at each of the wounded here, you soon realize that the majority of the wounds were caused by fire. Most of the defeated souls here have been burned, many in horrific ways. Whatever foe they faced, it can deliver fire like nothing you've seen before. Wandering about the field hospital, it does not take long before you are noticed. Moments later, a higher-ranking cleric of Sisla approaches the party, his robe soiled in blood and his demeanor quite negative. All of you. Either you're here to fight or you need to help with the wounded, get on with it. How do you wish to respond to the cleric? Choose an option, ignore the cleric and walk away, leave to go fight on the front lines, stay and help the wounded. The party's reputation score permanently increases by 1 point, we're here to help the wounded. Cartha responds, surprising even you. Well, do everything we can. The cleric nods in agreement, almost expecting the response before going about his own business again. As Cartha steps in the direction of the closest wounded, however, Sainadius just stands there, a strange look of surprise on his face, almost shock. Let's go, Sislan. Cartha commands again. We're needed, now. I won't assist, a mutant. Sainadius returns, almost joking on the words. How dare you even ask? Cartha turns back to Sainadius, quite surprised by the response but then not surprised at all. Janet, let's do an intelligence check on your hero to see if you can tell what's going on. Needing a 13 or less from Janet, a 11 was rolled. Success. Yes, you've seen this before. The Sislans see the faithless like Cartha as such a religious abomination that they would rather see everyone here die of their wounds instead of trying to save them with Cartha's help. Unfortunately, it appears Sainadius will in no way take part of any healing with Cartha at his side. This is exactly the sort of thing the Circle Wizard was just talking about. Cartha hisses, the female cleric stepping back toward you. Janet, remind this cleric of his oath to help everyone in need, as mandated by his absolute faith in Sisla. I know my oath and responsibilities, mutant. Sainadius shouts before you can respond. But first and foremost, I will deny all comfort and respect to any blasphemer who follows the ways of mutant. You got that? The party looks to you to resolve this altercation. What do you suggest? Choose an option, don't take sides and scold them both, side with Cartha, and criticize Sainadius, side with Sainadius, and criticize Cartha. That's enough, Sislan. You cry, wrestling the conversation back. We're a team, we need to behave like one. Sainadiers, help who you can to the north, and Kartha, help who you can to the south. Well, do what we can right here and we will all regroup afterwards. A bit surprised by your forcefulness, both Sainadiers and Kartha do as you command, each of them traveling in opposite directions but at least resolving the conflict. Moments later, a wounded human calls out for water a few feet away, drawing your attention. Watching the two clerics melt into the crowd, you turn away from them and step over to the human lying there, his clothes burned as well as his face and hair. "Water, please," the man, an apparent magic user, calls out, his voice hoarse and weak. "Is there anything you have that can soothe his parched throat?" Janet offers, uses the water skin and loses it from her inventory. Too weak to drink on his own, you help the man gently take what he can from your water skin, the wizard's mustache and beard almost getting in the way. Surprisingly, the burned adventurer soon consumes the entire water skin, satisfying his thirst for now. "Thank you," the mage whispers, too weak and in pain to sit up. "I am afraid I couldn't stand up to the hellions now," pushing forward from the Evilroot. "What, exactly, is a hellion?" Ariana asks politely, a question on your mind as well. "You'll find out soon enough," the weary man replies, a hint of a smile returning to his face. "They haven't been seen in 10 centuries. Now, they're about to overwhelm us all. Let's do a curiosity check on your hero to see if you know anything more about these hellions." Needing a 13 or less from Janet, a 19 was rolled. Failure. Everyone knows the stories, of course. Hellions were the demonic monsters from the realm of nightmares that flooded the world during the Age of Damnation over 1000 years ago. Yet no one has actually ever seen a hellion in recent history, until today. If you've come to fight, be warned, the magic user continues, still struggling to breathe. These monsters are every bit as deadly as we've been told. Don't get too close, these fiends are like fire elementals and burn anything they come into contact with. You can see the mage indeed got too close to one and was burned severely, his wizard's hat melted into his hair. The magic user coughs a few times, then reaches into his robes, retrieving a small, metallic scroll tube with his shaking hands. "I am out of this fight now," the mage whispers, about to pass out again from the pain and shock. "Here, take these scrolls, I never got a chance to use them in battle. Hopefully they will serve you well." And with that, the mage passes out, his body all but shutting down to begin the painful healing process. However, he dropped the scroll tube to the ground, it's now yours to examine. Opening the scroll tube, you find 3 scrolls inside, each of which should help a magic user in combat. Be sure to use the Take Items button to assign these scrolls to a particular magic user in your party. You then spend the next hour attending to the other wounded there within the field hospital, doing what you can, observing the battlefield to the south and learning more about the hellion attacks as well. Beings of almost pure fire, it sounds like you're too weak to hold your own against even one, so you hope to avoid them completely as you escape east toward the city of Nace beyond. Indeed, several times as you go about your business with the wounded, dozens of flaming beasts soar directly above you, escaping the Evilroot on broad trajectories guaranteed to propel them deeper into the continent. While the hundreds of heroes who have gathered here to form a line of battle to the south are doing all they can to contain the hellions, clearly some are getting away. Sainadiers and Kartha soon rejoin the party, each still angry with the other. However, at least the wounded here are now in a better state, you've done all you can for them. GM note, your quest log has been updated. Click the quests button for all the details. Taking the time to help the wounded here, let's reward that action with some bonus experience. Each hero earns 114 experience points. Ariana has gained a new energy level and receives 10 new hit points. Kartha has gained a new energy level and receives 4 new hit points and 1 new spell. Click the spells button to assign the new spell. You've done about all you can do here, it's time to move on. There is an obvious road that stretches from west to east before you to the south, with a variety of tents, encampments, and other structures lining the road. The din of hand-to-hand combat can be heard south several miles past the road, while the edge of the Evilroot Forest still in flames can be seen to the distant south. Redfern nods and takes everything from within the immediate area. A simple sign reads Field Hospital and welcomes you to the otherwise grisly area. Mr. Bones here is a simple skeleton that hangs from a small platform, likely erected to be used as an anatomical example for the clerics, nurses and support people running about. Travel alert: using the path, you travel southwest, taking 20 minutes to arrive, you're reached a well-developed road spanning both east and west for as far as the eye can see. Facing west, you're pretty sure the road leads back to the Wilex River that you crossed days before after escaping the undead trap at the boathouse. Several armed guards patrol the road here, however, you will need to speak to them first if you want to proceed west. Excuse me, but can you tell us where this road leads to? Cartha begins as you approach the guards, the female cleric not afraid to speak on behalf of the party. West, past the Wilex River and on to Kathleen, one of the guards returns, fairly politely. But we're under orders to not let anyone pass, it's too dangerous. As if on cue, all of you hear several distant cries to the west, followed immediately by an eruption of fire. The guards appear to be correct, it is too dangerous to go back to Kathleen right now. There is likely another reason not to go west. Let's do a party wisdom check and see what you discover. Needing a 13 or less from your heroes, a 13 was rolled. Success: yes, of course, Vell had just told the party that they needed to flee Kathleen as soon as possible, lest they be recaptured and, likely, executed by the inner circle. Going back to Kathleen now would be suicide. The road west continues to be blocked here by the guards, the road back to Kathleen too dangerous to take anyway. You'll want to head east, explore the current location and eventually travel further east deeper into the country of Hope Air itself. A stone marker here with a large arrow facing west reads Kathleen. Travel alert: using the road, you travel southeast, taking 10 minutes to arrive. A large white tent stands here, 50 feet to a side and 30 feet high, a fairly impressive sight marking the presence of the Sislan Way here at the battlefront. Armed cleric guards stand before the tent's entrance. Unless you can get past them, there is no way for you to learn more about what the Sislans are doing here. Of course, you do have a Sislan within the party, Sainadirs. However, he does not recommend even talking to the cleric guards. Again, you shouldn't expose yourselves to anyone from Kathleen, and you're likely too weak to be of any use to the Sislans here at the battlefront anyway. What would you like to do here? Choose an option: ignore the cleric guards and leave, talk to the cleric guards. Janet permanently decreases her reason score by 1 point, against the better judgment of Sainadirs. You decide to ignore his advice and approach the cleric guards anyway. At the very least, You do instruct Cartha to stand at the back of the party and completely out of sight before marching to the guards just outside the tent. The guards watch you carefully as you approach, not sure what to think of your party. As if on cue, Sainadir steps forward and hails the two clerics, softly patting his chest twice before revealing his open palm as a sign of respect. The two guards do likewise, comfortable with Sainadir but still eyeing the rest of the party for any sign of trouble. Sislan, begins one of the guards, addressing Sainadir directly. Have you come to fight the hellions in the name of our great goddess Isla? We'd welcome your help, assuming you're strong enough. And how strong do we need to be? Sainadir responds, fully aware of where the conversation is going. We're accepting 7th level heroes and stronger. Anything less, and you'd be more hindrance than hell. Janet, how do you want to respond to the cleric guards? Choose an option. No, we're not that strong yet. Yes, we're all 7th level or stronger. The party's reputation score permanently decreases by 1 point. What, a collection of noobs like you? Do you take us for fools? The second cleric guard demands, not accepting the lie one bit. Truly, you'd be doing yourselves the favor by not joining the fight, you'd just be quickly slain if you did. If you really want to help, leave us and spread the word throughout the continent of what you're witnessing here. Yes, most will not actually believe that the hellions have returned, the first cleric adds. Go and warn everyone you can that we stand on the precipice of a second age of damnation. The conversation is interrupted by several more hellions screaming through the sky above, additional harbingers of the coming catastrophe and certainly proving the guard's point. Wait a moment, aren't you Sainadir, one of the priests of the Sislan way back in Kathleen? I heard you and your party helped cause the destruction of the Onyx Seal, and that the wretched circle would be executing all of you. Uh-oh, looks like your party has been exposed. How do you want to handle this? Choose an option, stand your ground and fight if need be, talk your way out of the encounter, turn and flee as fast as you can. Janet permanently decreases her diplomacy score by 1 point, your party exposed now, you spend a minute trying to explain yourselves, focusing on the fact that you did not cause the Onyx Seal to be destroyed. However, the two cleric guards there have no interest in your interpretation of events, they just see you as the perpetrators of a new age of damnation. Your cover completely blown now, you recognize that a quick retreat is your only option, and soon the party has put some distance between itself and the guards. Next time, please listen to me, especially in matters pertaining to the Sislan way. Sainadir scolds again. We've become fugitives and need to be more careful. The rest of the party generally agrees with Sainadir, encouraging you to make better choices next time. There is little more to do here now near the tent of the Sislan way. You can return northeast to the various mobile shops lining the edge of the road, head east toward the city of Nace or, if you're particularly daring, go southeast to see the ongoing battle up close between the gathered forces of good here and the hellions from the Evilroot beyond. GM note, merchants buy and sell items of up to 100 gold pieces in value. Travel alert, using the road, you travel north, taking 10 minutes to arrive. Along the northern edge of the road spanning west to east here are dozens of large tents, wagons, and other means of setting up a mobile storefront. The furthest west of these is a general merchant, a traveling businessman here to buy and sell the more common items an adventuring party may want. To the south of you, perhaps a mile or two away, is the battlefront itself, the area on fire as hundreds of higher-level soldiers, heroes, and officials try to keep the flooding hellions at bay. Stepping into the merchant's tent, a strong-looking fighter bids you welcome, one with the muscles as well as mouth to succeed as a traveling merchant. Welcome, heroes, the merchant begins, looking all of you over. Stock up on anything you wish before you go to do battle with the hellions. I salute all of you. Your first transaction complete. Eswin can't help but comment on finding a merchant so close to what is likely an epic battle. It seems strange for someone to be selling his wares as the fight to prevent a whole new age of damnation wages just south of here. Perhaps to you, the merchant responds, not offended. I just happened to be close by when the fighting started, and I truly want to support you fine, brave heroes. I will even turn over my profits to the Sislan way. Trust me, I am here to help in my own way. The response is surprising. Let's have your party do a diplomacy check to see if you can determine whether the merchant is being truthful or not. Needing a 10 or less from your heroes, a 2 was rolled. Success, no one in the party detects any prevarication or sinister motives from the merchant, he appears to be telling the truth. It's refreshing to have met an honest and sincere businessman. These hellions are quite tough, the merchant continues, about to offer some friendly advice. If I didn't know any better, I would think we're dealing with a horde of fire elementals. But these monsters, they're different. They fight as if totally out of control, as if they were crazy or out to kill everyone and everything. Also, ordinary weapons won't harm them, you will need magical weapons if you're to have any hope of defeating them. The more you hear about these hellions, the less you want to encounter one. Something tells you that perhaps you should just avoid the battle to the south altogether and continue on your way to the east. The merchant awaits for you to buy and sell any mundane item you wish, a soft and comforting smile on his face. Janet sells 3 fire opals and receives the equivalent of 120 gold pieces. Travel alert, using the road, you travel east, taking a minute to arrive. The tent here appears cluttered with all manner of containers, made mostly of glass and each containing some strange powder or liquid. A dark, younger, and physically fit wizard bids you welcome and inquires. Are you in need of a potion or two? The transaction concludes and the alchemist thanks you for your business. Not that it's any of my business, but are all of you sure you know what you're getting yourselves into out there? The alchemist continues, taking an apparent interest in your personal well-being. Not really, can you tell us more? Eswin responds, as concerned as the rest of you. I imagine hundreds of those hellion monsters have already escaped north into Mariga, the magician laments, quite worried. A force of heroes, soldiers, and the like arrived shortly after the onyx seal was somehow destroyed to do battle with the escaping hellions. They're holding their own for the moment, but I think it's just a matter of time before the cause is lost. Interesting. How would you like to respond to this? Choose an option. Damn whoever is responsible for this. We will join the battle as soon as we're done, we're just passing through, not to fight. You are indeed very brave to do that, the alchemist responds, clearly impressed. Tell you what, Here are a few potions of fire resistance you will almost certainly need, on the house. Take these to protect yourselves from the heat of those cursed monsters. Surprised by the gift, Janet graciously takes them and secures them away. While there is little more to learn from the alchemist, he remains ready to buy and sell potions. Travel alert, using the road, you travel east, taking a minute to arrive, reams of paper lie stacked everywhere, while a few clerics and magic users await your presence within this modest tent, ready to sell you whatever magical scrolls you may require. GM note, here's a chance to buy some magical weapons and armor if you can afford it. Travel alert, using the road, you travel east, taking a minute to arrive, mostly covered within a large tented area, but one wall open to the outside beyond. You enter this area just north of the road and immediately encounter all sorts of weapons, suits of armor, shields and other objects related to combat and the general defense of an adventurer. A moment later, a muscular man appears from beyond a makeshift counter and hails you, ready to buy and sell. The transaction concludes and the smithy here thanks you for your business. A moment of silence passes as the smithy looks you over, as if measuring your worth. So, you here to fight the hellions, too? I've served a lot of heroes over the past 24 hours, and I would say half of them never stood a chance out there. The hellions are powerful monsters. You sure you're up to the challenge? Choose an option. Are you crazy? We're not here to fight. Is there any further advice you have for us? We can take care of ourselves. Yeah, don't fight these things unless you've encountered fire elementals before and beat them, the man responds, his advice most appropriate. If this really is a new age of damnation, there will be plenty of opportunity to die, no need to blindly rush into it now. Ariana takes a deep breath after hearing the advice, all of you recognizing that you probably need to move on to Nace as soon as possible. The smithy awaits for you to buy and sell additional weapons, suits of armor and shields you may need for the many trials ahead. Janet sells 6 longswords and receives the equivalent of 48. Ariana sells 9 daggers and receives the equivalent of 14 gold pieces and 40 copper pieces. Ariana sells 1 leather armor and receives the equivalent of Ariana sells 1 short sword and receives the equivalent of Ariana sells 1 longsword and receives the equivalent of 8 gold pieces. Ariana sells 1 sling and receives the equivalent of 80 copper pieces. Ariana sells 7 slings and receives the equivalent of 5 gold pieces and Barthol sells 1 silver dagger and receives the equivalent of Barthol sells 2 daggers and receives the equivalent of 3 gold pieces. Barthol sells 1 club and receives the equivalent of 16 copper pieces. Barthol sells 1 sling and receives the equivalent of 80 Eswin sells 1 dagger and receives the equivalent of 1 gold piece and 60 copper pieces. Eswin sells 1 leather armor and Eswin sells 1 longsword and receives the equivalent of 8 gold pieces. Eswin sells 1 club and receives the equivalent. Eswin sells 1 sling and receives the equivalent of 80 copper. Eswin sells 5 short swords and receives the equivalent of. Kartha sells 1 quarterstaff and receives the equivalent of. Redfern sells 2 daggers and receives the equivalent of 3 gold pieces and 20 copper pieces. Redfern sells 1 quarterstaff and receives the equivalent of 1 gold piece and 60 copper pieces. Janet lost 74 platinum pieces and 5 gold pieces. In return, she receives 3 quarterstaves plus 1. Travel alert, using the road, you travel east, taking a minute to arrive. After passing by a few well-equipped guards, you now stand just outside a small, mobile yet secure bank. If you wish to enter and make a deposit, retrieve saved funds or acquire a small loan, you will need to first pay a gold piece entrance fee. GM note, Janet lost 100 copper pieces. You pay the entrance fee and enter the bank. Its door magically secure and its interior official yet small and cozy. A nearby sign reads deposits, withdraws and loans, while several booths stand before you where clerks await to conduct business. Note that only you can obtain a loan, up to 10 platinum per level, and that you will have to pay back double what you borrow. Janet lost 66 platinum pieces, 212 gold pieces, 221 electrum pieces, 1,496 silver pieces and 664 copper pieces. Janet now has 171 platinum pieces saved away in the bank. Simply return to any bank within the world at any time to withdraw these funds, subject to a 1 gold piece transaction fee. Janet withdraws 51 platinum pieces from the bank. That leaves her with 120 platinum pieces banked. Note that the transaction itself cost 1 gold piece. Travel alert, using the path, you travel northeast, taking 15 minutes to arrive, off on its own to the northeast. Here are a collection of tents, wagons, and carts clearly used to carry, store and display relatively expensive merchandise. As you approach, you spy several armed guards, each watching you suspiciously, and you presume there are more guards out of sight watching you as well. Unlike the other vendors in the area, this place only has one entrance, guarded by an intimidating thief. This is an odd area. Let's do a party curiosity check to see if any of you recognize this place. Needing a 11 or less from your heroes, a 20 was rolled. Failure. While clearly you've discovered some sort of black market merchant, that's about all you can tell. The armed guards watching your every move remains disconcerting. As you approach the only doorway, the intimidating thief looks all of you over before extending an open palm, clearly expecting some sort of entrance payment. Cost of doing business with the master is 1 gold piece. GM note, Janet lost 1 gold piece. The thief takes your money, holds it close to your face for a moment, and with a quick sleight of hand makes the coinage suddenly disappear. He then allows you entrance into the main tent, still keeping his eye on all of you as you pass by. Welcome, heroes, a middle-aged man slyly speaks as you enter the black market, clothed in the finest materials and even wearing a bit of makeup. I am Master Kelp, and I trade in the more desirable things of the world. I don't trust this guy, Eswin whispers into your ear, the fighter quite wary. We shouldn't stay long. Feel free to examine my complete collection. Master Kelp continues, his smile a bit creepy. I can also buy from you if there are baubles you no longer desire. The sale is completed and the black market master thanks you for your patronage. But before you go, Master Kelp states, his actions rather bizarre and untrustworthy. There is the matter of that little trinket of mine you dropped into your pocket. The merchant points to you, Janet, he is accusing you of theft. As at least half a dozen thieves appear from the shadows and surround the party, Kelp approaches you with a twisted smile. Did you think you could steal from me? Needing a 12 or less from Janet, a 3 was rolled. Success. Thinking quickly and clearly, you know you're being set up by this master thief and you mentally prepare yourself for what's about to happen. Before you can say anything to defend yourself, however, the merchant slips his hand into one of your pockets and retrieves a black ring with a large red stone. Of course you haven't seen the ring before, but there it is, nonetheless. I can't blame you for wanting my ring of fire resistance, given those beasties out there. But I also can't have my patron stealing from me like this, that's not good for business. Standing there a bit dumbfounded, you struggle for words, unprepared for such a scenario. Let's have your hero try a charisma check to see what your fellow party members think. Needing a 12 or less from Janet, a 9 was rolled. Success. Janet would never steal from anyone. Ariana proudly states, defending your honor with surprising conviction. You planted that ring in a pocket and we demand to know what? Are you attempting to dishonor me, lass? Master Kelp replies, his devious plan working perfectly. First you steal from me, then you call me a liar, that's just something I can't allow. Out of the shadows, 10 rookie thieves surround you, drawing their weapons and about to attack. The merchant then taunts you a final time. I am afraid my own code of ethics now demands your very lives. And when you are dead, I shall take your items and sell them to the next group of heroes who foolishly enter my tent. And with that, Kelp orders his lackeys to attack. The fight is on. About to attack your party are 10 rookie thieves. It's Redfern's turn. What do you want him to do? Redfern readies his quarterstaff +1 and swings at rookie thief number 6, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 7, +3 to hit. Redfern misses. Rookie thief number 10 attacks Ariana with her dagger, needing a 18 to hit. Die roll is a 18, +1 to hit. It's Ariana's turn. What do you want her to do? Ariana readies her short sword +1 and swings at rookie thief number 5, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 13, +4 to hit. Ariana hits rookie thief number 5, doing 7 points of. Arthal readies his ornate dagger +1 and swings at rookie thief number 10, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 3, +4 to hit. Arthal misses rookie thief number 10. It's seen. Sainadius readies his quarterstaff +1 and swings at rookie thief number 9, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 15, +4 to hit. Sainadius. Cartha readies her quarterstaff +1 and swings at rookie thief number 1, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is. Rookie thief number 8 attacks Eswin with her dagger, needing a 16 to hit. Die roll is a 18. It's Janet's turn. What do you want her to do? Janet casts Cure Light Wounds on Ariana, healing her for 6 hit points. Rookie thief number 2 attacks Eswin with her dagger, needing a 16 to hit. Die roll is a 16. Rookie thief number 4 attacks Janet with her dagger, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 20, which is an automatic hit, and it's Eswin's turn. What do you want him to do? Eswin readies his short sword +1 and swings at rookie thief number 8, needing a 14 to hit. Rookie thief number 1 attacks Sainadius with her dagger, needing a 17 to hit. Die roll is a 19, +1. Rookie thief number 3 attacks Sainadius with her dagger, needing a 7. GM note: a new combat round has begun. Initiative is rolled, with higher values acting first. Ariana readies her short sword +1 and swings at rookie thief number 10. Rookie thief number 4 attacks Janet with her dagger, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 20, which is an automatic. Rookie thief number 6 attacks Cartha with her dagger, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 19. It's C. Nyers' turn. What? Sainadius casts Cure Light Wounds on Janet, healing her for 9 hit points. Rookie thief number 1 attacks Sainadius with her dagger, needing a 17 to hit. Rookie thief number 7 attacks Ariana with her dagger, needing a 18 to hit. Die roll is a 18, +1 to hit. Rookie thief number 10 attacks Ariana with her dagger, needing a. Rookie thief number 3 attacks Sainadius with her. It's Janet's turn. What do you want her to do? Janet readies her mace +1 and swings at rookie thief number 4, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll. Redfern readies his quarterstaff +1 and swings at rookie thief number 10. It's Barthal's turn. What do you want him to do? Barthal readies his ornate dagger +1 and swings at rookie thief number 10, needing a 14 to hit. Eswin readies his short sword +1 and swings at rookie thief number 8, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 20. GM note: a new combat round has begun. Initiative is rolled, with higher values acting first. Cartha Redfern readies his quarterstaff +1 and swings at rookie thief number 1, needing a 4. Barthal readies his ornate dagger +1 and swings at rookie thief number 1, needing a 14 to hit. Cartha readies her quarterstaff +1 and swings at rookie thief number 1, needing a 14 to hit. Janet readies her mace +1 and swings at rookie thief number 4, needing a 14 to hit. Saneas readies his quarterstaff +1 and swings at rookie thief Ariana readies her short sword +1 and swings at rookie thief number 10, needing a 14 to hit. Rookie thief number 3 attacks Saneas with her dagger needing a 17 to hit. Die roll is a 17. Rookie thief number 10 attacks Ariana with her dagger needing a 18 to hit. Die roll is, it's Eswin's turn. What do you want him to do? Eswin readies his short sword +1 and swings at rookie thief number 2, needing a 14 to hit. GM note, a new combat round has begun. Initiative is roll. Arthal readies his ornate dagger +1 and swings at rookie thief number 10. Janet readies her mace +1 and swings at rookie thief number 2, needing a 14 to hit. Redfern readies his quarterstaff +1 and swings at rookie thief number 10. Ariana readies her short sword +1 and swings at rookie thief number 3, needing a 14 to hit. Die roll is a 18, +4 to hit. Ariana hits rookie thief number 3, doing 3 points of damage and defeating her. Well done. All combatants have been defeated, ending the battle. Each hero receives 29 experience points. Not expecting his henchmen to actually be defeated, Master Kelp quickly loses his smugness as he turns to flee, his deadly scam now exposed. Without warning, a sudden explosion occurs directly in front of you, leveling everything within 30 feet and knocking all of you to the ground. Looking back, you watch in horror as a massive fire begins to roar within the area, its flames already singeing your clothes. Moments later, the fire coalesces into a big humanoid form, taking a stand almost atop Master Kelp. The merchant screams in horrible pain for a few seconds before being burned to ash directly in front of you. Let's do a reason check on your hero to see if you can deduce what just happened. Needing a 12 or less from Janet, a 5 was rolled. Success, judging by the gaping hole in the ceiling of the large tent you're in, that hole itself already burning, it appears that one of the hellions streaming from the Evilroot Forest above has just crash-landed here, easily killing the black market merchant in the process. Appearing as a fire elemental, but something entirely different, the hellion screams terribly as it turns in your direction, a cry not unlike a banshee, a terrible, painful, soul-draining wail that is almost as sad as it is terrifying. The monster has been wounded in its fall to the ground here, but common sense still warns you that the Infernal is a very dangerous adversary as it moves in your direction to attack. The fight is on. Facing the entire party is one hellion. It's Ariana's turn. What do you want her to do? Ariana readies her short sword +1 and swings at hellion, needing a 17 to hit. Die roll is a 20, which is an automatic hit and does double damage. Ariana hits hellion, doing 14 points of damage and leaving it with 6 hit points. However, the flames of the hellion are also quite intense for Ariana, burning her for 3 points of damage. It's Janet's turn. What do you want her to do? Janet readies her mace +1 and swings at hellion, needing a 17 to hit. Die roll is a 20, which is an automatic hit and does double damage. Janet hits hellion, doing 18 points of damage and defeating it. However, the flames of the hellion are also quite intense for Janet, burning her for 4 points of damage. Well done. All combatants have been defeated, ending the battle. Each hero receives 135 experience points. Somehow your party manages to defeat the fiery infernal and you watch as the monster disintegrates into a large pile of ash, wailing once more in absolute sadness. For a moment, you almost sense a living humanoid within the flames, but the apparition is immediately gone and the area grows silent. Likely the bravest in your party, Eswin is the first to approach the smoldering ash of the hellion corpse, just as stunned as all of you over what you've just witnessed. So that's a hellion, the fighter comments, poking at the remains with his blade. I've never before witnessed such a dangerous thing. There are hundreds, probably thousands of them, escaping the Evilroot as we speak, Redfern adds, looking into the sky through the burned roof of the tent. Now what? GM note, your quest log has been updated. Click the quests button for all the details, sifting through the ashen remains of the hellion. You also find a few remains of Master Kelp who just happened to be standing in the very spot that the hellion landed on minutes ago. Surprisingly, you find the same ring that he claimed had just been stolen. Black in color, the ring is quite cool to the touch and you strongly suspect it to be magical. Its previous owner now deceased, you slip the ring into the same pocket it was supposedly lying in before the arrival of the hellion. The black market is now destroyed, there is nothing left to do here. The road to the south will take you west back to all the other traveling shops or east toward the city of Nace.